Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So last week we covered memorizing a monologue. This week we're covering monologues again, but not just monologues. It works for scenes, scripts, character analysis. You want to get the emotions right on your character. Is a monologue, a script, you'll need an emotion wheel if you have a monologue that you really, or a scene that you really want to get right. You don't want it to be terrible, so you'll need an emotion wheel. I will link one down in the description if I can find one. If not, there won't be anything in the description. Those are literally the two things you need, along with highlighters to highlight any specific emotions like this. She went through a bunch of emotions. A pencil to write emotions. Let's get started with some tips. When you're doing character development, character emotions in a monologue, especially one that's not super long, you don't want 12 different emotions. You don't want every line to be a different emotion. It's too much and nobody's gonna watch it if you go from happy to sad to mad to angry to bitter to frustrated to disappointed in 30 seconds. You wanna have an arch of emotions. You start at one place, you hit, I guess you could call it an inverted triangle. You could call it a triangle or an upside down V. Anyway, you start at one emotion, you take that emotion, you go up, and then you go back down to another emotion. So you want to have 3 emotions top. Now, probably it'd be a little different if the monologue was, say, a full page, or if it's a scene and you're reacting to someone, then your emotions might change based on how they act. But for the most part, you want a little, either like a V, a loop, upside down U, upside down V. That's what you want. You don't want to go all crazy with your emotions because then it's not as good because you're constantly focused on changing. You don't want to look like this or like this. We don't want no like EKG machines and heart monitors going boop, 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 boop. No, not gonna happen. Not a good idea. You can try it. I wouldn't suggest it. Figure out your emotions. Figure out if you can figure out your starting emotion and your ending emotion, then you can figure out the middle emotion. Or you can figure out like where at this specific word or this specific line or whatever, be like, that's that emotion. I want this emotion to be centered. So that's gonna be the mid emotion. So that's gonna be your top of your emotion line. 3 is the sweet spot for emotions for monologues that aren't super long. Like I said, if your monologue is longer or it's a scene and you have different reactions, like you start out one way but someone makes you mad, so you end up saying like you're mad, not saying you're mad, but it makes you frustrated and angry, and then you're happy again, but then someone else does something to upset you, so you're sad. That's a different story. But for the most part, you want 3 emotions. Now that we've covered why you want 3 emotions, let's let's take our monologue. Everybody got your monologues? Okay, so you're going to figure out what emotion you want. This monologue, I'm psychotic, okay? I'm psychotic, I'm a stalker, I'm borderline need to be locked up. That's my character, okay? Borderline being locked up. She's a stalker, she's psychotic. She's in love with a guy who hates her and doesn't love her back and doesn't want to be with her, but she doesn't see that. Your number 1 emotion is gonna be the bottom emotion, is how you're gonna start your monologue. So, hi Jessie, it's me again. I saw this article in the newspaper just now that made me think of you. The title was, I Married My Stalker. It got me thinking, that could be you, me and you. But you keep calling the cops. I mean, not that I'm upset or anything. Actually, I thought it was kind of funny. Me being arrested for stalking. It's more like investigating someone you're attracted to. So you want to figure out in that, because that's a long paragraph, so you can go with 1 emotion. And actually my emotion that I wrote down is like insane and irritated. And like mainly that's what I chose, was insane and irritated. And on your emotion wheel, and you're going to choose the correct emotion for how you see the character. Obviously, if it's a scene and they tell you your character grows increasingly whatever, you want to go with that. Now, if there's no starting point, but you grow increasingly irritated or increasingly angry or mad or sad or whatever they say, you want to start at like baseline angry and just work your way, same thing. So like say your character says, I'm gonna go with this. My point is, Jessie, I need you and I think you need me. Remember that time I made you breakfast in bed? I have to admit, you weren't very grateful. All I needed was a simple thank you, not how did you get into my house? So Clearly, she yells, how did you get in my house? So this, I wrote aggressive next to it, and it's true. But aggressive doesn't always have to start and be aggressive the entire time. It can build up to aggressive. Okay, so aggressive, provoked, and hostile. So, in fact, when you're yelling, how did you get into my house? You could be hostile. Or like, you could say, my point is, Jesse, I need you. And I think you need me. You need to sound like the emotion you're portraying and not just monotone it. But you also need to inflect using facial expressions because your face is really what they see on camera. They can hear you, but they also see you. So if you're sounding really, really angry and provoked, but your face is just like, yeah, I'm provoked and I'm angry. But if your face is smiling, it's two different conflicting emotions and it doesn't make sense. Why are you smiling? I mean, obviously she's psychotic, so I literally could do any facial expression that would work. But this monologue is a happy, lighthearted, surprised, confused, inquisitive, emotional monologue, or emotions in this funny monologue. So I want my facial expressions to not be monotone to where it's just, I just found my TV remote in the freezer. Ever wonder about those random events that surround your day-to-day existence? No one's gonna want to watch a monologue, a video audition, someone in an acting class that's doing that. That's just monotoning their way through. You need to inflect. You need to emotion. You need to show it on your face. Me, I have to keep my facial expressions in check because they don't use their inside voice. So if we went with, okay, so I literally wrote that I could say this as a normal person, but psychotic. It gives me some range to work with. So like the insane last line, but I forgive you. We all make mistakes. So call me when you get this. Love you. Bye. Yeah, insane. But it doesn't have to be insane. As long as you start with how you want to, and it doesn't, whatever you start with, you don't have to end with. How you want to start your monologue. That's the starting point. And on your paper, you're going to make a dome shape. And that is your little emotions. So like the middle paragraph, I wrote aggressive, which can be true. So that can be helpful, is going with not the starting emotion. Figure out where you want to be in the middle, so then you can figure out how you can work up to that without it being a jump. So that's why unless, like I said, if the scene calls for a different way to do this, then there's a different way. Like, if they tell you how to do it, don't wing your way through and do it don't do it how you want to do it. Do it the way they tell you to do it. Now, you also don't want to go happy, sad, and fearful all in the same unless your paragraph, your monologue, your scene, whatever you're doing calls for those emotions. You don't want to jump all over the place. And if you're going to do happy, then I want you to find a happy monologue that the whole thing is happy. There's no real, major changes. And then, so you're happy. Then I want you to pick 2 to 3 emotions off of under happy. Don't just pick happy. There's playful, content, interested, proud, accepted, powerful, peaceful, trusting, and optimistic. And each of those have 2 more emotions. So happy is the main emotion that you're covering. The second emotions, and then you got the third emotions. So you're going to pick, so if you pick a monologue that is interested, no, proud. You're proud of yourself, you're proud of a friend, something. So proud is going to successful and confident. You are proud of yourself because you're a successful, confident businesswoman, and that's what your monologue is. Find something that will have, you can do ones that have major shift changes, but it's a lot harder to go with those emotions if you're just now starting this. Like this one, I have 3 emotions. Literally, it's like, I just found my TV remote in the freezer. And then I go, finding your cell phone in your dog's water bowl? So let me cut to the chase, because now I'm inquisitive. But I ended up back on confused. Now, confused was up at the top, but the confused is now about my cell phone and my dog's water bowl. That's confusing. That's not inquisitive. Inquisitive is asking questions. Confused is literally what is going on. Why does all this stuff happen to me? You just want to figure out where you can either you can work backwards and figure out where you want to go, like what you want to end on, and work backwards, how you want to be in the middle and how you want to be at the beginning. You could do ending, beginning, and then middle. You could go in order, top, middle, bottom. You can do a monologue 12 different ways. Well, okay, at least 2 different ways. Like this monologue, the psychotic one, I'm choosing to do psychotic. I could do it as normal too. Psychotic and normal. Now this one, because it's happy, surprised, and confused, I could do it as just confused. But if I left the entire monologue as confused, I would then have to, because I used surprised. So then confused is disillusioned and perplexed. So I'm perplexed. So I could do it all as confused, but then I'd have a range of emotions. You just gotta figure out what emotions you want to use for that moment in time, because you can do it again. But if you want to show a little different than what you're used to acting in, say you've always done lighthearted comedies. Just go with me on this, okay? And you want to show that you can be a psychotic stalker with an attitude problem, okay? So then you're going to take, it may not work with a happy monologue, so like one monologue may not be able to show that, so you're going to find another monologue, and you're going to use those emotions, okay? So you are going to show that you can do psychotic, insane person. Doesn't even have to be a stalker. A psychotic person. So then you're going to find the emotions that go with that and make your little arch of emotions for each monologue. Just so that way you can show that, hey, I can be an insane, psychotic person. I can be a psychopath. I can be a sociopath. Narcissistic person. I watch a lot of Criminal Minds. Then you do your emotions, and that's how you show people that you can be a totally different character than what you've portrayed. You want to try something different? Try something different. Use a monologue that you've used before and just twist your emotions a little. It doesn't even have to be a big jump of emotions from where you had it. So if you were kind of melancholy and sad, but you could make the monologue work as a happy person, make the monologue work as a happy person. Or learn a whole new monologue. Either way, you're gonna get the emotions that you want and show people that you can be a different actor. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next week. Remember, like, comment, subscribe. When you do comment what types of videos you'd like to see, or comment a character that you want to be. Do you want to be funny? Because you're always dramatic? Do you want to be dramatic because you always get the funny roles? Do you want to be a psychopath? Let me know in the comments. I think it'd be fun to find out. And I will see you guys next week back with another video. Bye.